tuning in to Lewis University's television network. Today is Thursday, February 13th, 2025. I'm Francesca Corso.
And I'm Brendan Najera.
Tonight, President Donald Trump's phone calls over the war in Ukraine and what they could mean for the conflict in the region. In addition, an American teacher, Mark Fogel, returned home in a U.S.-Russia prisoner swap. Finally, what to watch for as freeze sweeps over the Midwest this Valentine's Day weekend. Now, the top national and international stories. We begin with a story breaking today out of Europe. At least 20 people were injured in Munich, Germany this morning after a car drove into a crowd of demonstrators. The incident happened where world leaders were set to meet for the Munich Security Conference. Top diplomats, including Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and Vice President J.D. Vance, will attend the high-level security conference. Police said on social media they had detained the driver involved and didn't consider him a further threat. No other details were given.
Valentine's Day is this week and love is in the air. But if you're looking for love online, law enforcement warns scams spike around this time of year. According to a recent Stanford study, online dating is now the most popular way people meet romantic partners. But finding love on the internet can open doors to romance scams. It's where someone sets up a fake profile, gains the victim's trust, and then manipulates them into sending money. If you or someone you know thinks they have been a victim, you can report it to the FBI by going to ic3.gov.
Two pilots were rescued from the water after a Navy jet crashed into San Diego Bay Wednesday. The pilots ejected before the plane crashed into the water off Shelter Island. The Coast Guard says the two were in the water for only a minute or two before a crew of a fishing boat picked them up. The pilots are now in stable condition and no word yet on what caused the crash.
In Westport, Massachusetts, a well-known man with Down syndrome has an entrepreneurial spirit like no other. With the support of the community, he has painted and sold more than 1,000 birdhouses in the last 8 years. Jared is the overall artist. However, his dad helps him with things like fine lines. It all started several years ago when he decided to sell some at a local craft show. Jared has also been an employee of Lee's Marketplace for the last 23 years. Jared's coworkers will tell you that he works as hard as anyone else and has a personality that'll sweep you off your feet. Despite being born with Down syndrome, the store offered to stock some of Jared's work after learning about the birdhouses by Jared. The entrepreneurial opportunity provided to him is something his dad says has been life-changing. And for Jared, just like the birds he's hoping to service, the sky is the limit. A birdhouse by Jared costs $19.99. He is planning to make a donation to the California fire victims.
The three Chilean men accused of burglarizing the home of Cincinnati Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow now face new charges. On Wednesday, the Hamilton County, Ohio prosecutor announced the men are charged with felony engaging in a pattern of corrupt activity and second-degree burglary. They were previously charged with transporting stolen goods and falsifying records. Prosecutors allege the men stole nearly $300,000 worth of items from Burrow's home while he was playing a game in Dallas in December. Prosecutors also say the suspects are believed to be part of a theft ring that was responsible for other burglaries across multiple states. Prosecutors say the three men entered the U.S. legally under a visa-free program. However, they overstayed their permission and now are in the country illegally. Prosecutors say if the men post bond, they wouldn't be able to leave the country. Prosecutors say the investigation is ongoing and additional suspects may be charged. Coming next, President Donald Trump's phone calls to Russian President Putin and Ukrainian President Zelensky over the war in Ukraine.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Oh boy. Our back and forth. It always came back. Dad! You probably don't remember what you told me.
That was perfect.
But I heard every word.
I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. Through a nationwide network of food banks, Feeding America serves virtually every community in the United States. See how you can help your community. Visit feedingamerica.org.
President Donald Trump spoke to his Russian and Ukrainian counterparts on Wednesday. In a social media post, Trump said he and Russian President Vladimir Putin discussed various issues, including Ukraine, the Middle East, and artificial intelligence. This comes one day after the Kremlin released an American teacher from jail. According to Ukrainian spokesperson, Trump also spoke to Ukrainian President Zelensky for about an hour. Officials wouldn't confirm what Trump and Zelensky talked about. The White House says it hopes these talks could help bring an end to the war between Russia and Ukraine.
Accused Russian money launderer Alexander Vink is being released from U.S. custody in exchange for American teacher Mark Fogel. Vink allegedly ran a multi-billion-dollar cryptocurrency exchange, possibly linked to drug dealers and identity thefts. He was arrested in 2017 and received a 5-year sentence in 2020 for money laundering. Vink's lawyers had long been lobbying for his release as part of a prisoner exchange. Fogel, a history teacher at an American school in Moscow, arrived at the White House late Tuesday after his release and was greeted by President Trump. Fogel had been at a Russian detention center facility for more than 3 years after traveling into Russia with 17 grams of cannabis, which his lawyer said was for back pain. A number of Americans are still being held in Russia, including at least 2 who are classified as wrongfully detained.
Negotiations seem to be breaking down less than a month into a first phase of a ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas. Monday, Hamas threatened to postpone an upcoming hostage release until further notice, accusing Israel of breaking the agreement. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says Hamas postponement would be a violation of the terms of the deal and says if the hostages aren't released as planned on Saturday, the ceasefire will end and the Israel Defense Forces will return to intense fighting in Gaza. Hamas took 251 hostages on October 7, 2023. 73 are still being held.
The impact of the U.S. aid funding freeze is already being felt from as far away as the border between Thailand and Myanmar, which is thousands of miles from the U.S. This is what happens when the world's biggest aid donor suddenly stops sending money. Families were ordered to evacuate their sick loved ones from this hospital in the mountains of western Thailand. Days later, the hospital was deserted, its front gate locked shut. On January 20th, President Donald Trump ordered an immediate 90-day pause in all U.S. foreign aid. He declared the U.S. aid industry as not aligned with American interests and claims it serves to destabilize world peace. For years, Myanmar has been ripped apart by a brutal civil war, a military dictatorship that seized power in a coup in 2021, battling numerous insurgent groups. The conflict forced more than 3 million people to flee their homes. Now, aid organizations say they only have a month and a half of funding left to feed refugees along the Thai border with Myanmar.
On Tuesday, Vice President J.D. Vance took President Trump's fight against the regulation of artificial intelligence development to the global stage. Vance spoke to head of state and CEOs gathered in Paris for the Artificial Intelligence Action Summit. He said the U.S. believes overzealous rulemaking could kill the artificial intelligence industry. Vance's remarks followed Trump's repeal last month of an executive order by former President Biden. Biden's order set out action to manage AI's national security risk and prevent discrimination by AI systems. Many experts believe the risk of AI need to be addressed through regulations. Those risks include deepfakes, images, videos, and audio recordings meant to sway elections or create fake pornographic images. There are also concerns about AI breaking free of human control or possibly making an autonomous weapon system. That's it for your international news. Up next, the story of a local Chicago organization and its mission to help refugees during uncertain times. And later, your entertainment with Christian Kluver.
I'm feeling really good.
What are you looking for?
Meet the Scan, a simple procedure whose mission is to detect lung cancer early.
I'm here to save you!
But I feel fine.
That's great, but you may still be at high risk for lung cancer.
Oh man, that's a new fence.
If you smoke, early detection could save your life. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
In Chicago, a local organization is lending a helping hand to refugees and migrants in need. Refugee Support Chicago, based in the Uptown neighborhood, is providing essential household items to families facing uncertainty. Volunteers aren't distributing bedding, toiletries, kitchenware, and other personal care items to assist new arrivals entering into the country. Organizers say community donations are crucial to keeping their efforts going. With resources stretched thin, this organization is calling upon more support to continue their mission. Anyone interested in helping this cause can volunteer or donate items to help make a difference.
A second suspect has been charged in the fatal stabbing of Waukegan restaurant owner Joshua Kirkwood. Police say 33-year-old Daquan Dorsey is now facing first-degree murder charges for his role in the attack. Kirkwood, the owner of 4014 Steaks and Seafood, was killed last month in what investigators describe as a target incident. Another suspect, Jamari Turner, was already in custody for similar charges. Authorities are continuing the investigation and to see the motives behind the killing. Both suspects are being held as they await their next court appearances.
A federal jury has reached partial verdict on former Illinois House Speaker Mike Madigan's close ally. The jury found defendant Timothy Mapes guilty on 17 charges, but remained deadlocked on 6 others. Mapes, who was Madigan's former chief of staff, was accused of lying to the grand jury, investigating a bribery scheme linked to the powerful Democratic leader. Prosecutors claim Mapes protected Madigan by withholding crucial information. This verdict marks yet another chapter in the ongoing corruption that has shaken Illinois politics. Sentencing for Mapes will be determined at a later date.
A United flight from Chicago to Los Cabos was forced to turn back after a cockpit issue mid-flight. Officials say Flight 1879 returned to O'Hare International Airport due to a problem with the windshield. The plane landed safely and there were no injuries reported. Passengers were placed on a different aircraft to continue their trip to Mexico. United Airlines says safety is their top priority and the incident is under review. It is the latest in a string of airline-related safety concerns making headlines nationwide. Next, what a federal court in the state of New York decided about R. Kelly's attempt to appeal his convictions. Plus, the Backstreet Boys are back. Entertainment news with Christian Kluver is next. Stay with us.
About a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. Through a nationwide network of food banks, Feeding America serves virtually every community in the United States. See how you can help your community. Visit feedingamerica.org.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back. You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Singer R. Kelly's 30-year prison sentence on racketeering and sex trafficking convictions was upheld by a federal appeals court on Wednesday. In 2021, Kelly was convicted in New York on multiple charges for using his fame to sexually abuse young fans, including some children. The singer's lawyer appealed to reverse the convictions or get a new trial. In its ruling on Wednesday, the appeals court said that it considered all arguments presented by Kelly and determined they are without merit. Kelly is also serving a 20-year prison sentence concurrently for another case. In 2022, he was convicted in Chicago on multiple charges for producing images of child sexual abuse and enticing minors for sex. Last October, the Supreme Court declined to hear an appeal in that case. The Backstreet Boys are back. The iconic boy band announced a residency at the Sphere in Las Vegas to celebrate the 25th anniversary of their hit album, Millennium. Into the Millennium will play the 9 dates in July. The presale starts Friday. Tickets go on sale to the general public this February 21st. The list of nominees for the 2025 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame has been released. The 14 performers on the ballot include Chubby Checker, Outkast, Billy Idol, Mariah Carey, Cyndi Lauper, Joe Cocker, British rock band Oasis, Latin rock group Mana, and the band Phish. Rounding out the list, Bad Company, the Black Crowes, Joy Division, New Order, Soundgarden, and the White Stripes. 8 of the nominees are newcomers to the list. 6 are making repeat appearances. Chubby Checker is a welcome surprise after becoming eligible in 1985. Also noteworthy, the Mexican band Mana, the first primarily Spanish recording artist to be nominated. The winners of this year's Hall of Fame will be announced later in April. A new Captain America movie opens this weekend with a new actor taking over the role. David Daniel looks back at the big and small screen history of the MCU's first Avenger. Sam Wilson, played by Anthony Mackie, takes the Star-Spangled Shield to the big screen. In Captain America: Brave New World, with some big shoes to fill. Back in 2011, Chris Evans emerged as Steve Rogers in Captain America: The First Avenger, fighting Nazis in World War II. The first of Evans' 10 films as a super soldier, Steve met Sam, soon to be the Falcon. In 2014's Captain America: The Winter Soldier, with a line that would get a memorable callback 5 years later, Sam reluctantly took on the role. In the 2021 streaming series, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, now he soars into theaters in a brave new world that features none other than Harrison Ford hulking out. Busted for busking. Ed Sheeran took to a busy street in India this weekend for a surprise live performance, but authorities soon pulled the plug, saying he didn't have permission to street perform. The British singer was in between shows in the city in Bengaluru. A policeman yanked out the singer's guitar and microphone cables midway through Sheeran's rendition of Shape of You. Images published on social media showed the interaction. Local police said that they previously denied Sheeran's permission to busk in the area, and a citizen called the helpline once he started playing. Shortly after the Sunday incident, Sheeran said on Instagram that the street gig was planned and that he had been given the all clear. When we come back, we will look over your winter freeze sweeping over our area the next week, and the strong potential for snow over this Valentine's Day weekend, followed by your Lewis Sports Update with Frankie Corso.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. Through a nationwide network of food banks, Feeding America serves virtually every community in the United States. See how you can help your community. Visit feedingamerica.org.
What are you looking for?
Welcome back, Lewis Flyers, to your 7-day weather forecast this week. Starting on Thursday, we're going to have a sunny day with a high of 21 and a low of 2 degrees. This Friday, Valentine's Day, is going to be a cloudy one. However, we can still make it a good day with a high of 25 and a low of 23 degrees. This weekend, Saturday and Sunday, is going to be a chilly one. It's going to snow both days with a high of 34 and a low of 25 on Saturday and a high of 28 and a low of 1 degrees on Sunday. Monday through Wednesday, it's going to be partly sunny, so at least we'll get some sunlight, but there is going to be cloudy as well. 8 degrees is our high on Monday with a low of 0. 15 degrees is our high on Tuesday and Wednesday with a low of 4 on both days. Hopefully it'll start to get warmer soon. Thank you for listening to our 7-day weather forecast this week. Now to sports with Frankie Corso.
Thanks, Christian. Junior Logan Suki of the Lewis Flyers men's lacrosse team has been selected to the USILA Division II Team of the Week. Suki led the Flyers on Friday with 4 caused turnovers and added 2 ground balls in the road victory over number 14 Newberry. Suki led the Flyers with 6 ground balls and 3 caused turnovers in the road contest Sunday against number 4 Limestone. Lewis resumes action Saturday, February 15th, as the Flyers travel to North Canton, Ohio to take on Walsh starting at 11 a.m. Lewis University is celebrating over 50 years of women's athletics, honoring the rich history, achievements, and contributions of female student athletes, coaches, and teams who have left a lasting impact on the university's athletic legacy. As part of the celebration, several milestone events will take place to recognize individuals and teams who have shaped the success of women's athletics at Lewis University. During halftime of the women's basketball game on February 8th, the Lewis University Academy of Coaches inducted 7 outstanding coaches who have demonstrated excellence and leadership and commitment to their teams. Their dedication has been instrumental in shaping the Flyers athletic program and mentoring generations of student athletes. The inductees include Lisa Carlson, Wendy Hegarty, Jill Karofsky, Karen Lockyer, Erin Murphy-Lorenz, Lori Goulsbury Schoenfield, and Catherine Tat-Sheely. The Midwestern Intercollegiate Volleyball Association announced that this Tuesday, Nico Paulo was awarded MIVA Defensive Player of the Week for the 6th time in his career and 2nd time this season. Paula and the Flyers went 1-1 in MIVA play last week with a victory against Lindenwood and a setback against McKendree. The libero recorded 27 digs on the defensive side of the ball while recording no reception errors and 3.38 digs. Lewis University women's basketball is ranked in the top 25 in the Women's Basketball Coaches Association NCAA Division II poll and D2 CSC Division II media poll. In the WBCA poll, their Flyers are ranked at number 22, and in the D2 CSC poll, they are ranked 20. Lewis currently owns a 19-2 record and a 13-1 mark in the Great Lakes Valley Conference. The Flyers are in first place in the GLVC. Lewis returns to the court today as the Flyers travel south and take on McKendree starting at 5:30 p.m. Lewis University softball returns back from a trip to Hawaii late last week after a good-looking start to the season against Ferris State and Hinsdale College. The team didn't quite fare as well as they would have liked, putting up more L's than W's on the score sheet in Hawaii. The team will be looking to make a return to form at the Rosemont Dome against the Roosevelt University Lakers on February 16th. Those games start at 12 and 2 p.m. local time.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
What are you looking for?
That's it for today's news. Thank you for watching, and as a reminder, you can always keep up with Lewis University's television network on Facebook, X, Instagram, and by visiting our YouTube channel. I'm Francesca Corso.
And I'm Brendan Najera.
Have a great night and a happy Valentine's Day.